Thanks for checking out the Next Level Radio YouTube page. If you like what you hear, be sure to head over to nextlevelradioonline.com. There you can find out how to listen to more podcasts with great guests, including ones that are not on the YouTube page. You can either download them on iTunes, Stitcher, or just stream them straight from the website. You also find the links to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep you updated on everything we have going on. And you also find some other great stuff, including event coverage like Philly Comic-Con and movie reviews as well. Again, that's nextlevelradioonline.com. Thanks for listening.
Hey there, this is Jimmy Simpson.
Hi, this is Claire Coffey.
Hey, it's Rick Hoffman from Suits.
Hey, this is Lucky Yates.
Next Level News.
Cards Against Humanity brings the raunch to the web in an unofficial app. The time has come to commence Operation Lady Gaga. The time has come to commence Operation Jerking Off into a Pool of Children's Tears.
God damn it.
The Showcast Weekly Update.
Scorsese can now be added to the list of celebrities with animal lookalikes, joining Wilford Brimley, who looks like Surly Cat, and Sarah Jessica Parker, who looks like every horse in America.
Hey guys, this is Amber Nurse.
Hey, what's up? This is Thomas Decker.
Hey, I'm Chris Parnell.
Hey everybody, it's Greg Proops, the smartest man in the world, and you're grooving to Next Level Radio. Get it?
All right, it is a beautiful Monday evening, since yesterday was Easter. Welcome to another episode of the Showcast. As I said, a beautiful Monday evening. The weather is perfect today, and we are inside recording a podcast, so go figure. I am Ben Beck, joined by Adam Gorey and Steve Richards. Episode 13 of our second season of the Showcast. How was everybody's Easter this weekend?
Quick. The weekends always go by quicker when there's a holiday.
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
Pretty good. I played golf, so.
How'd you do?
Nice.
First time out this year, I assume.
Yes, it was. And I bought a new driver. So it was the first time with that as well.
How'd you shoot?
I shot okay. I putted inconsistently, and it all adds up to 79.
That's about 30 strokes better than I would have done. So,
well, right for that.
I was going to say, that's not bad. It's better than I would have done.
Yeah, we did the Golf Expo help you out at all?
I hit that shot at least 5 times because it was really windy on Sunday.
The short stuff.
Yeah.
Or
some golf coach, to give a little bit of background, essentially gave us a quick lesson on how to hit a 3/4 shot, and it works when it's windy, so it worked really well.
Yeah, less loft is what that does.
Yes.
For anyone who doesn't know what a 3/4 shot is.
Yes.
Ben.
I have I know what it is, but I just you would never get me to do it because I'm not that good.
Yeah.
The last time I played golf was actually the last time the three of us were out playing golf. Well, we weren't out playing golf. Yeah, we were in playing golf. We need to do that again though. That indoor golf course was really cool.
Yeah, we might actually end up doing it Friday. I'm sure you probably work, but we're supposed to go golfing Friday because it's my birthday, so I took off, and actually we all took off when we're going golfing, but now it's supposed to rain, so we might actually go do the indoor one again.
I appreciate the invite. That was nice of you.
Yeah.
You know, I could have taken the day off of work and come and join you, but, that's okay. I'd rather work.
We were trying to get done quicker.
Oh, you're an ass.
Seriously though, like sometimes I try not to invite people as our fourth. Like we have me, Ryan, and Steve pretty much are always the three, and the fourth is kind of different each time. I try not to invite anybody worse than me. No offense to you, because I don't want to bring somebody that's going to slow our pace down. Like if I try and bring somebody, I usually try and bring one of my friends who's really good at golf. Ah,
okay. That's your reason, and you're sticking to it.
Again, no offense to you or anybody else I haven't invited golfing in the last few years.
No, it's fine. I do want to get out this year. I want to at least hit the driving range a little bit this spring, so I haven't played an actual 18 in 4 or 5 years. So I definitely want to hit the course at some point this year.
It's a fun time.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Speaking of a fun time, I attended the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con this Sunday.
Are we going to talk about that later, or you want to talk about it now? Let's talk about it now.
I was just going to talk about it real quick now. There wasn't really a lot to mention. Compared to Wizard World, it's a lot smaller.
Well, yeah.
Maybe an eighth of the size.
Yeah, it's the same people who did the Great Allentown Comic-Con, just actually larger, as small as you saw that one, Ben. Just imagine Great Allentown was even smaller than that. Which, I mean, it can be good and bad.
It's definitely. There are definitely good and bad sides to it. The bad, real quick, is there's not a lot of vendors, so your shopping selection, if you're there to shop, is very small, especially the comic vendors. There's not a lot of comic vendors. Most of the booths were people selling merchandise rather than comics, and it was a lot of the same merchandise over and over again, which sucked because there wasn't many booths to begin with. And the guys that were selling comics, because I met up with a couple people, friends that were there, and they were comic shopping. And as small as a convention it was, these guys were definitely dealing in convention prices, which means they were overpricing their merchandise.
See, that's a shame.
Yeah, their prices they probably could have got away with at Wizard World, not a small convention like this.
Yeah.
It's not going to fly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to get on to the accessibility aspect, but I have a feeling you probably were too.
Yeah, that was actually what I was going to go to next, and that is actually on the plus side.
Yeah.
On the good side, the celebrities are very accessible at a smaller convention like this. So I know a lot of people kind of go away or look away from attending smaller cons like this, but if you are there to meet celebrities or at least shake their hands and talk to them, this is the way to go. Is these smaller cons? I got a photo op with George Takei. Takei. God, I was correcting people this weekend, and now I just said it wrong.
Oh my!
Oh my!
He couldn't have been a nicer guy. When you go to Wizard World cons and you go through the photo op line, they kind of push you through and shove you through, and you get a little bit more time at the photo ops with this one because the line takes maybe 15 minutes total to get through. And then other celebrities like Jonathan Frakes, I literally walked right up to his table because he had no line.
Gave him a kiss.
I did not give him a
dinner.
kiss. No, I did not give him a kiss and ask him out to dinner. However, we did reminisce about the fact that we do have a common thing in our lives, and that is the fact that I graduated from Moravian College in Bethlehem, and that is where he grew up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
did you give him your card?
I did not give him my card because he would not accept it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You asked?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately. But he did say to contact him through his rep.
Okay.
So that is not a no.
Right.
And that is
another guy from Wizard World last year.
Yeah.
I won't name names. Let's just say he was green and angry at one point.
You wouldn't want to make it. Yeah, you wouldn't want to make him angry. Well, at least earlier on in the 80s, you wouldn't want to make him angry.
Right.
But the celebrities don't have reps with them at smaller cons like this. They have handlers, and the handlers don't handle PR.
Right.
So
you're that's the one downside. But you don't really get to talk too much to reps anyway in a larger con either. So
yeah, so it kind of sucks. One way or another. The panels were great. George Takei's panel was fantastic. Jonathan Frakes if you don't know who Jonathan Frakes was, he is William Riker from Star Trek Next Generation. His panel was absolutely hysterical.
Did they do separate ones, or did they do one Star Trek panel?
No, they were from separate series, so they did two separate panels.
Oh, okay.
And Jonathan Frakes' panel was hysterical. He had everybody laughing the whole time. I got some good pics that I'm going to post on the site probably tonight. So they'll be up by Tuesday. By the time you're listening to this, they'll be online.
Another bonus is when you do go to those panels, you get much closer seats than if you were at Wizard World Philly, because the room's a little bit smaller, so you get a little closer.
Yeah, the larger room at this at a convention like this is probably the size of one of the smaller rooms of Wizard World.
Now, were they actual rooms? Because when that's actually the same place Steve and I went to that golf expo, and the guy that he was just basically on a stage in the corner of the giant expo room, essentially.
No, they're rooms.
Okay, they separated them out. Okay.
Yep, they're separated from the floor.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was a good time. I would definitely like to see what they do next year after moving it into a bigger place like this. Hopefully, fill it up a little bit more because there was a ton of room that could have been used. So, and they didn't. And of course, the cosplayers were out in force, and
as always,
they
should get Lucky Yates and Amber Nash next year. Is what they should do.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
nextlevelradioonline.com/interviews.
You were just waiting for that.
Yeah.
That one was forced. I'm not giving you credit for that one.
You're a jerk.
That's fair. It is Michael Rooker's birthday today, this Monday that we're recording, so go ahead.
Really? That I did not know.
Is he on the... I don't think he's on the interview page, technically. nextlevelradioonline.com/events.
There you go. Yeah, that's where he is.
Yeah, we talked to him at Wizard World Philly last year, which is, I think, the only event on that page at the moment. But, like Ben said, this one...
Considering somebody from another event whose image is on that page never got back to us as far as press, so we never got to cover it.
Are you talking about this one?
No. There was another event we were trying to get press to last year, and we never got answers.
Oh, really?
It happens actually in Bethlehem.
I know what you're talking about.
And I was talking to Jonathan Frakes about it.
Is it a festival of music?
It is,
okay.
Indeed, a festival of music.
Music with a K.
I was just going to say that, damn it. But you mentioned Rooker and tying it back into this con. You got the chance to interview Jason David Frank, and I got the chance to sit in on a panel at this con with the rest of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, I know when I went to the one in Allentown, it was the Red Ranger. What the heck was his name? He has a 3-name name.
I forget.
He was at the one you were at.
Yeah, I forget.
And then Karen Ashley, I think is her name. She played the Yellow Ranger.
Yep, she was at this one.
Yeah, those two were the only ones at the one I went to. Now, you had David Yost, I believe, who was the...
David Yost, who was the original Blue Ranger,
and something. Knight?
Walter Jones.
Walter Knight's isn't he the guy from Seinfeld?
I don't know.
That's Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight.
I'm
that's right. My name's mixed up here.
Walter Jones, who was the original Black Ranger, and Austin St. John, who was the original Red Ranger.
Yes.
So, and actually, the woman that played Rita Repulsa was there. The guy who played Zordon.
Yeah, I was gonna say the guy who voiced Zordon was there too, right?
Yeah, so they had quite a crew from Power Rangers.
Yeah, I think I've looked into them a little bit before, like back when Allentown was happening, and they do a lot of the cons, like smaller ones.
Apparently, there's a Power Rangers con that travels too.
Yeah, I think I heard about that
because they were mentioning it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was fun. But yeah, that was a fun time. So hopefully we'll get to see what they do next year, and if it's a little bigger, and we'll attend it again.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and hopefully you'll get to do it this time. I know you had something come up last minute.
Well, I mean, they made it on Easter weekend, which is tough.
True. So, but with that being said, let's move forward and let us cover the box office for the week.
What's in the box?
How is the box? I think I have an idea, but how's the box office looking for this weekend?
You know, I never thought to play What's in the Box, even though we're talking about the box office.
I did not even connect the two of them together until right now.
Honorable mention, number 7, opening up Woman in Gold with just over 2 million. Number 5, dropping back from number 3, the Divergent series Insurgent with another 10.1 million. 3-week total of over 103 million. Staying at number 4, Cinderella, with just over 10.1 million as well, edging out the Insurgent by about $50,000. That has made 167.1 million in its 4 weeks. Dropping back from number 2 to number 3, Get Hard, 13.1 million, for a 2-week total of 57.2. Dropping back from number 1, Home, which I think we all predicted that it would fall out of the number 1 spot. Another 27 million though in its second week, which is still pretty good. So in 2 weeks, almost 100 million. It's at 95.2. And then I think we all know what the number 1 movie opening up with an outstandingly humongous large number, 147.1 million.
Paddington.
For Paddington.
That's what it deserves.
For Furious 7. Do you think that's a little Paul Walker effect?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's a little Easter effect. All these numbers are inflated for the holiday.
That's true. I mean, Furious 7 is already certified fresh, though. 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, 90 from the audience. So I mean, still, or it's getting good reviews also to go with that 147 million. I didn't even think, I didn't even see it getting that much. I mean, I knew it would get number one, but that's a huge number.
Well, I mean, like I'd said before, too, the last, I've watched them, and I enjoy them, and they've been gradually getting better and better as they've been going on since Tokyo Drift. And I think, and the funny thing is, I thought this was supposed to be the last one, and now I'm already hearing talks of another movie, of an eighth movie.
Yeah.
And not rumors, like Vin Diesel has come out and said it in interviews, like, in doing the promo for this one, he's already talking about an eighth one. I mean, and I understand they've written Paul Walker's character out of the story now, obviously, because he passed away, but, like, I thought this was supposed to be the last one. So, I kind of hope they're not going into beating a dead horse with this series.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't think it was going to ever end, so I don't know. I didn't hear any of that.
They might just go to 9 and make it a triple trilogy.
Keep making $150 million in a weekend.
Yeah, it's true. As well as this one did, do you think Jurassic World and I assume the Avengers is going to beat it?
Sure.
It's got. I mean, I can't.
I don't know.
What did
$150 million in one weekend?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the last Avengers opened with twice as much.
Didn't it hit 2?
You think the last Avengers opened with $300 million in one weekend?
No, I think it opened at 2.
It's like 2 something, yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I was exaggerating.
The first Avengers opened at 207 million. So take that, Steve.
And I'm pretty sure this one's going to beat that.
Yeah. Well, Furious 7 appears to be the 9th highest in history.
I think it's one of the biggest for Universal.
It actually is the biggest for Universal, yep.
There we go.
Yeah, Warner Brothers has 3 through 5 with one of the Harry Potter and 2 Dark Knight movies. And then Buena Vista has the Avengers and Iron Man 3. Those are the top 2.
And my brain went right to Harry Potter before it went to Batman. That's the weird part.
Oh, that's sad, kind of.
I know.
So yeah, that is the box office for this past weekend. Coming out this future weekend, I guess, April 10th, which happens to be my birthday. The Longest Ride with the...
That's the second...
Yeah, give it a rest.
That's the second time. Let's see how many times we get this mentioned in this
assholes
podcast.
Wish me a happy birthday, so I'm going to keep saying it.
Because it's not your birthday yet.
But next time you talk to me, well, Steve will see me, but you won't. You could have said happy birthday, because by the time Sunday rolls around next week, it'll be too late. Anyway, The Longest Ride, drama, romance, some cowboys and shit like that. I don't know. It looks stupid. It's like Notebook with cowboys, okay?
Are you bummed because I didn't say happy birthday?
No, I'm over it.
Okay.
Ex Machina, which is a sci-fi film with about a young programmer who is selected to participate in a breakthrough experiment in artificial intelligence by evaluating the human qualities of a breathtaking female AI. Sounds interesting.
Sounds like her.
Jeez, don't do that. It's like iRobot and her. It's like the same.
Yeah.
Next, you have Desert Dancer, which is a biography about Afshin Ghaffarian, who risks everything to start a dance company amidst his home country of Iran's politically volatile climate and the nation's ban on dancing. So it's like Footloose.
Footloose!
I don't think Kevin
dancing is outlawed.
I don't think Kevin Bacon's in this one.
No.
See, I mean, they did it in like some small town America when they could have just gone to Iran and did it that many years ago. Apparently, it's been banned there for a while. Next, you have Clouds of Sils Maria, which is a drama about a veteran actress who comes face to face with an uncomfortable reflection of herself when she agrees to take part in a revival of the play that launched her career 20 years earlier. So it's like Birdman.
Next.
Kill Me 3 Times. That is with Simon Pegg. It's about a professional hitman, Charlie Wolf, who finds himself in 3 tales of murder, blackmail, and revenge after a botched contract assignment. It's actually listed as an action thriller. I gotta assume there's a comedic, part to it.
There is. I've already seen it.
Okay. Luke Hemsworth is also in it.
Yes, the third Hemsworth brother. And
oh yeah, I was thinking the one that was in Hunger Games, but no, this is a different one.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah, I've already seen it because it's been out on video on demand already for the past week.
I'm just gonna change my last name to Hemsworth, maybe I'll get a role somewhere.
I highly doubt that's gonna work.
Okay, fine. Then
happy
finally,
happy birthday! Adam.
Thank you. Finally, you have Lost River, which is a fantasy thriller about a single mother who is swept into a dark underworld while her teenage son discovers the road that leads him to a secret underwater town. That one, that stars Christina Hendricks and Ian DeCastecker, who is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I believe.
It's also directed by the guys.
Who?
Ryan Gosling.
Oh. I've never heard him called the Gauze.
Well, we're friends. So.
Well, you have... you have now.
There you go.
We can't call him the Gauze, apparently, because we're not friends. But yes, Ian Castinger plays Fitz on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah. But that is it. Let me, real quick, Longest Ride doesn't have a score. Ex Machina is at 87 on Rotten Tomatoes, and Clouds of Sils Maria with a 92%. Oh, and Lost River with 24.
So are we taking guesses as to what's going to...
We can. I mean, I can start if you want. Longest Ride's probably the only one I can think of that's going to hit the top 5. Furious 7's still going to be number 1. Longest Ride will probably squeeze into the top 5, though.
I honestly don't see any of them making it into the top 5.
Wow. Bold.
That's yeah.
You got release numbers on these things? I ask this every week.
I know, you'd think he'd be prepared with this.
Why don't you look it up then?
Because it's your job.
It's your job at the box office.
Whoa. This is not my... Are you paying me to do this, or what? Longest Ride, 3,300 theaters. Clouds of Sils Maria, a whopping 3. Desert Dancer, 25. Ex Machina Limited, and Lost River also in 3. Probably the same thing as Clouds of Sils Maria.
So the 3,300 is regular, right?
Yeah, Longest Ride is the one that's going to be in the most.
All right. This is a Nicholas Sparks book and a rom-com, so we're going Notebook style. Give me number 3.
Number 3.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. It's time to go on a limb.
If I'm gonna go number 4, and Ben has it missing, so
I'm gonna go 6.
Okay, well that does it then for my end, at least.
All right, then moving on to my end with the DVD and Blu-ray releases for the week. That will wrap it up for the DVD and Blu-ray releases for the week. There is literally nothing. There's nothing coming out this week. We're heading into a very slow time for DVD and Blu-ray releases. There's a couple trickling in over the next couple weeks, but we're heading more into the bigger movies hitting the theaters.
I was going to say, everything comes out in theaters, so they don't.
Yeah, so things tend to slow down as far as the DVD and Blu-ray releases. There's nothing this week. I think there's one worth mentioning next week, so we'll save it for then. But yeah, that's it. There's nothing. There's not even any TV seasons coming out worth mentioning.
Well, that was easy.
I think I looked at the list, and if it doesn't, the website that I use, it gives you the box office total next to it, and sometimes there's no box office total next to it, which means it was pretty much straight to DVD. I don't even mention any of them, and I don't think there was one on the list this week that had any box office next to it. So there was absolutely nothing.
Well then.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
So then we're going to head towards our first break. Coming up later on in this podcast, we have an interview with Andrew Santino from Yahoo's Sin City Saints. And you would also know him from the Gray Carpet pre-show of the Justin Bieber Boast. Justin Bieber Boast. The Justin Bieber Roast Comedy Central had earlier on last week, which hopefully we'll get to talk to him a little bit more about that as well. And then next week's interview, we'll mention it again later on, but we have Ori Pfeffer from USA's Dig, which is apparently another hit show that USA's got going on.
Dude, I mean,
some really good reviews.
Yeah, I've seen the pilot. I'm going to try and watch a couple more, but it was one of those actually, like I watched the pilot, and then as soon as the pilot ended, I started the next episode.
I have yet to watch it, but I will watch it before we get this.
It has Jason Isaacs in it.
Yeah,
who's fantastic.
I love him in The Patriot.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I hope one day we get to talk to him.
Yeah, he's a Harry Potter guy too.
That's it. Yes, he is. He was
Malfoy.
Oh God, Lucius Malfoy, the father. So, but we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we will hit Next Level News as well as some other stuff. Stick around.
Hey, this is Nate Torrance, and you're listening to the Showcast on Next Level Radio.
That's great.
Keep that whole thing.
No, I'm going to.
Could be a crackhead.
I would just like to take this moment to wish my co-host Adam a very happy birthday.
Oh, you already did it once. Let's not.
Well, I figured since you mentioned it twice, I would have to wish you happy birthday.
I appreciate it.
This is special.
There you go. We're going to go into our new segment, which we started, was it 2 weeks ago? I think we introduced this. Yep. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to do it again, this time with intro music. This is the Next Level Showcast's Trailer Trash.
Howdy, y'all. It's time for the Trailer Trash.
It's all you, Steve.
Okay, sweet. Let's sift through some garbage. So the first one we have to kick off the segment is a movie called Maggie, who is headlined by the Governator himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Abigail Breslin, who you might know as Little Rock from Zombieland, and Jolie Richardson, I believe is how it's said, who is from Patriot fame. Essentially, it's about, I'm just going to read synopsises. So, a teenage girl in the Midwest becomes infected by an outbreak of a disease that slowly turns the infected into cannibalistic zombies.
Yeah.
And during her transformation, her loving father, who is obviously Schwarzenegger killing people, stays by her side. So, after watching this trailer, and again, we should preface this by saying you can watch all these trailers, well, you can Google it because it's 2015, but you can also watch all of them on IMDb. That's where I get all my trailer stuff, so they are available over there. So Maggie, is this gold or I believe a dumpster fire is what we call it if it's bad.
Did we think of like an in the middle one? It's just
Nope.
like take out the trash or something like that.
Yeah, trash day.
Trash day.
That's
Ben,
not
I'll let
good
you go
looking.
first because I think aren't you a pretty decent Schwarzenegger fan?
I'm a big Schwarzenegger fan, and I'm an even bigger zombie fan. So I'm the one that recommended this one to you guys for the trailer trash for this week. What did we give it? We give it dumpster fire or
trash to trash.
Garbage to gold.
Was
Garbage to
it
gold.
that or hidden? I thought it was hidden treasure.
Yeah, something like that. That'll work.
Okay.
I thought it was trash to treasure, but whatever.
Or trash to treasure. I think it's trash to treasure. I think you're right. I am going with trash to treasure on this one, mainly because I have been. First off, I'm a zombie nut. I've never seen Arnold do a zombie film before, so I'm excited about that. But most importantly, I've been reading a lot of background on this movie. It's getting a lot of hype at the film festivals that it's at, and there are a lot of people and a lot of big name critics that are saying this is one of Arnold's best roles ever.
Okay, good. I thought you were gonna start talking Oscars on me for a second.
No. You're never gonna see a zombie movie nominated for an Oscar. It's never gonna happen. Zombie freaks are over that. We're done with it. But it's actually a dramatic role for Arnold. It's more dramatic than action. And there are a lot of people saying that because Arnold's older and he can do the dramatic roles now, he doesn't have to do the action roles. This is one of the first dramatic roles he's ever done, and it's probably one of his best. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a hidden treasure for me, trash to treasure for me.
Release date is May 22nd, but that says in Sweden, so I'm not 100% sure when it comes out in America.
In the U.S.
Yes.
I'm going to give it. It's not one I'm going to see in theaters, but it actually does look pretty good. It's an interesting take, more serious take on the zombie thing. As far as drama goes, like it's not just like a zombies attack people type of thing, like World War Z type of deal. It's a little more drama to it, a little more in depth into the family. It's kind of like a slow I think she like slowly, this disease slowly turns her into a zombie, it looks like. So, I think it looks pretty good. It's definitely one I'll check out, like DVD or Netflix when it eventually gets there. So I'll give it a trash to treasure, cause I don't think it's gonna be your standard, Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to see, Arnold in a different type of role. It's kind of the first real thing he's done that wasn't a sequel and stuff like that since he's been out of office, I guess, at least of note that I can remember. So I think it'll be worth seeing, and it'll have that entertainment factor being a zombie movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. So that's I think it's a treasure as well. I'm good.
I mean, it can't be any worse than the movie where he was a cop who fought the devil.
Yep, that's fair.
End of days.
It's a good line to have.
And I've actually liked Arnold since he's come back from being the Governor. The first movie he did back was it was that one where he was the sheriff in the town.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And he was the last line of defense, the last stand or something. Yeah. I thought that was very highly enjoyable. Obviously, not a critic, a high critic praise one because it's pretty much just a shoot 'em up action movie with Johnny Knoxville and stuff like that and such. I thought it was fun and I liked it. I've liked Arnold since he's come back. He hasn't picked the best roles, obviously, but yet the Terminator Genesis hasn't come out yet, so we don't know how he's going to be in that either.
True.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And then next on the list we have The Gift, which is categorized as a drama mystery thriller, set for release July 31st. That is in the U.S. You can expect it then. A couple stars. We have Jason Bateman is the big name, so to speak, and then Rebecca Hall. And it is written, directed, and played. He plays a real creepo named Gordo. Is Joel Edgerton. And the synopsis is a husband and wife try to reinvigorate their relationship, but their lives are threatened by a friend who is played by this Gordo character. From the husband's past, who holds a horrifying secret about him, sending their world into a tailspin. So that's the mystery and the thriller part of it.
Yeah, not The Gift that came out in 2000, directed by Sam Raimi. Different movie.
Yeah,
with Keanu Reeves.
Yep, this might be better.
Oh, it's got Keanu Reeves in it. It would automatically be a dumpster fire.
Correct.
Yes.
So this one automatically is better than that one.
But how do we categorize this one?
Again, kind of a different role for Bateman. He's known for more of the comedic aspect of it. I like Rebecca Hall, fan of hers. I mean, I'm not a big horror thriller kind of person, but this one looks pretty interesting. I mean, it looks like there's definitely going to be a twist in there somewhere. So, I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, if you don't know who Rebecca Hall is off the top of your head, she was in Iron Man 3, I believe. Wasn't she in that the one about magic with
Prestige?
Prestige, yeah. She was in Prestige, which is a fantastic film. So yeah, I'm a fan of hers. So
she's in The Town, which is the Ben Affleck directed movie, which was fantastic.
Yeah, she's in a lot of good movies.
Yeah. I guess Steve, do you want to go next?
Sure. I these actually do interest me, these mystery thriller types. So I think it's the trailer's intriguing at least, and it leaves some belief. I probably won't see it in theater, but it leaves you wanting to watch a little bit more. So I think the trailer's good, and it makes me want to watch the movie. So that'll make it a treasure.
You know what? It's almost a little reminiscent of Seven. It's got that one guy who's kind of a psycho who kind of focuses on the main character who has some bad tendencies, some destructive habits and whatnot, it looks like. So, obviously it's not going to be quite like Seven was, but it just kind of reminds me a little bit of that with that mystery going on, the thrill to it.
Yeah.
I agree. To me, it is a trash to treasure as well. What I liked about the trailer is the fact that, the first half of the trailer, you're led to believe that this guy is the main creeper, and then you start to discover slowly in the trailer itself even that it might actually be Bateman's character that really holds the secret behind everything, and the deep dark secret behind everything as to what's going on.
And it's interesting they released that in the trailer as well.
Yeah. And I think what scares me the most about Joel Edgerton's character is he still has his ear pierced.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can't trust him.
Fair.
Can't trust
Fair's
him.
fair.
He's still
Just
living
because
in the 90s.
just because his ears pierced.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it. Does he have one of those hoop ones? If he's got a hoop.
No, I think he's got a stud.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not as bad.
The same thing that you said too, as well, Adam. We're used to seeing Bateman in comedic roles lately, so I would like to see. He's done dramatic stuff before, but it's been a while, so I would really like to see how he can still hold up doing this kind of role. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. And then also in the thriller genre, but this is the horror thriller type of genre, we have Poltergeist, which comes out pretty soon, actually, May 22nd. And the synopsis is simple. The family's suburban home is invaded by evil forces. You might have heard of Poltergeist before. These are played by Sam Rockwell, who you might know as Iron Man's kind of nemesis in a couple movies. And then Jared Harris, who plays Lane Price in Mad Men, and Rosemary DeWitt, who I'm not as familiar with, but she's a top billing cast member. But what do you guys think about the upcoming Poltergeist?
I'm not big on remakes.
Yeah.
I didn't see the original, though, so I can't compare, really, so I can't speak to that aspect. I can't give it a trash to treasure quite. Maybe I'll give it a middle of the road, but if I had to pick between the two, I'd go dumpster fire, but maybe it's more of like a, take out the trash type of thing, or whatever we decided on the middle one being.
Just leave it in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
How about you, Ben?
I'm actually very excited about this. I'm a big horror buff. I'm not big on remakes as well. But there's one name attached to this movie that really sells me on it, and that's Sam Raimi, who's one of the producers. Sam Raimi, if you don't know, was from the Evil Dead series, was involved in the Evil Dead reboot, which was...
He also did the Keanu Reeves, The Gift.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah, he directed it.
Okay. I never watched that movie, so I didn't know.
There's no need to.
But but Sam Raimi was behind Drag Me to Hell. He was behind... he was also behind the first 2 or 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. But we're not going to count them in that.
Definitely not the third one.
I watched this trailer, and with the exception of the fact that the psychic in the movie, in the original Poltergeist, was played by, I can't remember her name, but she was a short little old woman, and she's very notable for that role. Instead, it's played by a fully grown Irishman in this one. With the exception of that, I think the trailer actually looks pretty good, so I'm going to count it as a trash to treasure.
I think I'm going to be closer to Adams, but again, I haven't seen the original Poltergeist either. And it didn't. I don't know. I'm not as big into in the horror movies. I get the twinge that Ben is. You're more into the horror movies, so that's not a huge priority for me. But I guess you never know. It just doesn't intrigue me as much as I hoped it would, just with the trailer, I guess.
Also, in the trailer and one of the posters, that there's a clown involved, and I can't get on board with that. Yeah,
I'm out.
Well, it's in the trailer too.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's at the end of the trailer.
The trailer
okay.
and the poster.
Yeah, I'm out.
I don't do clowns.
And then the next one is kind of another. It's not a complete reboot, but it's connected to the past, I guess is the way to put it. With Mad Max, the new one is called Fury Road. And that's also coming out pretty soon, May 15th. Action-adventure thriller, obviously. Post-apocalyptic world in which people fight to death. Max teams up with mysterious women to try and survive, which obviously that's what Mad Max is. So if you know what Mad Max is, then this has plenty of famous people. Tom Hardy's taking over the main role, and then he'll be joined by Charlize Theron, who will be the main woman. And then Zoe Kravitz is in it, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, who played the Smoke Show in the new Transformers, and Nicholas Hoult are a couple names that will be in the top billing of this movie. What did you guys think of the new Mad Max as carrying on the tradition, I guess?
You want to start, Ben?
Yeah, I can start with this one. I liked it. That's really all I can say about it. I think it looks very high energy. It's a very interesting... I don't want to say it's an interesting take on a reboot because, I mean, obviously it's a reboot. Reboots are always up in the air because they're either hit or very, very miss. But this one I think looks like a pretty good hit, so I'm going to say trash to treasure on this one.
Were the originals that kind of crazy looking?
The first
they would have
one
been if they were recent. That's what they wanted them to look like, I feel like.
Okay.
And I
didn't see the originals. So.
Well, the first one was actually the Road Warrior, I believe, before Mad Max. And Road Warrior was really a prequel to Mad Max, and it was set in a normal time.
Okay.
And then somewhere between Road Warrior and Mad Max, the apocalypse happens, and it all of a sudden shifts. I mean, it's the same character from Road Warrior that's in Mad Max. He is Max. So in Road Warrior, he's a cop, and it's normal times, and then sometime I don't think it's ever really explained, but sometime between Road Warrior and Mad Max is the apocalypse, and his character continues on.
Okay.
So it is very much the same. What you see in the trailer is very much how the original Mad Max was.
Okay. Well, I am a big Tom Hardy guy, big fan of his. So I'm going to give it a trash to treasure, mainly because I also like Charlize Theron as well. But in case you weren't aware, Zoe Kravitz is in fact the daughter of singer Lenny Kravitz.
She's been in something else too recently.
She was in X-Men, and she was also in Divergent.
Okay, neither one of them was what I was thinking of.
She was in After Earth.
It wasn't that then, because I've never seen that.
She was in, I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, she was in X-Men First Class is the one she was in. She was the
maybe it was.
Yeah, she was
the
thing with the little wings. She spit hot fire.
Okay.
Spit hot fire.
Yeah,
did I go yet? I don't think I went yet.
I'll give it a trash to treasure though.
Yeah, I'm interested in it for sure. I think it'll be fun to watch. It's kind of, I guess, not as much along the lines as Maggie, because Maggie does seem like a more serious role, more of a drama, and this is much more action adventure. But I think it'll be a fun movie to go to as the summer approaches. The summer type of feel movie. So I'll see it. I don't know if it'll be in theaters or not, but it'll be fun to see, I think. And finally, let's close on a bit of a lighter note here with a movie called Masterminds, which is a comedy. It says action comedy crime, which is kind of funny, but and it comes out August 7th. And the synopsis here is: a night guard at an armored car company in the southern U.S. organizes one of the biggest bank heists in American history. And the cast is what's going to get you to come out to see it. Night Guard is played by Zach Galifianakis, and then joining him will be Kristen Wiig, Jason Sudeikis, who it looks like plays a funny hitman, Owen Wilson, and then Mary Elizabeth Ellis, who is the waitress in Always Sunny, and it pretty much goes on from there, what you can expect from these comedy movies, to get a bunch of cameos and people you like to see. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wonder if that means we're going to see a cameo from Charlie Day.
Yeah, maybe her husband.
Because that's that's her husband. So
yeah, and one with Sudeikis, who he's played with before. So quite
Horrible
possible.
Bosses. Yeah.
So what did you guys think after watching the trailer for Masterminds?
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I mean, Zach Galifianakis is hit or miss. I don't. If it's going to be the same tired old role that he used to do when the Hangover movies came out, I'm not sure if I'll like it that much, and that's kind of the feel I'm getting for it. I do like Kristen Wiig and Jason Sudeikis. Not a huge Owen Wilson fan. Unfortunately, I think for now I'm gonna have to give this one a dumpster fire.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm a big don't get me wrong. I love Zach Galifianakis. I think he's hysterical, but he kind of falls in the same window as Melissa McCarthy with me. It's the same roles over and over and over again, and I think this kind of falls back into that pattern. He broke away from that pattern for a little while with some of the movies that he's done. It's kind of a funny story. Was a great breakaway from that. Birdman, obviously, another breakaway from that. But I think he's fallen right back into it. But I think Kristen Wiig is a good addition to this, and Jason Sudeikis as well. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to do well in theaters, so for that reason, I might have to say I'm leaning more towards dumpster fire with this one, too.
This is fun, because we're complete opposite, where I think it looks funny, and I would actually like to see it, and I don't like Kristen Wiig at all, so that's the opposite of what you two said. But I do like the Galifianakis role that he's portraying. He's kind of like a southerner that's weird and kooky, which I think could be funny. And I like Sudeikis a lot, so there is a worry because there's a lot of jokes in the trailer. So there's a worry that they put all the good jokes in the trailer to get you to watch the movie. That's always be wary with a comedy movie. That's kind of why I try to avoid comedies in theaters to begin with, so I don't waste so much money. But I think it could be good, and I'll probably watch it eventually, though it won't be in theater. So I'll be the one that says treasure for this one.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I try not to go see comedies in theaters much anymore. If I'm going to pay that much money to go sit in a theater, I want to see a lot of special effects and hear a lot of noise.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
It's not to say that I'm not going to see this movie, because again, I'm a Zach Galifianakis fan, so I'm going to watch it. But it's just I'm basing this on how well I think it's going to do in theaters.
Oh, that's fair.
So,
yeah, and then with that, we shall close the trash can.
Cool. Close the lid on that dumpster. So, well, let's stick with the entertainment thing for right now. I'm saying a lot. I gotta shake that. Jesus. But that's there we go. I started with an Let's continue on with the entertainment stuff and let us hit the next level news for the week.
This is Next Level News.
All right, 6 stories. We're going to try and push right through these, starting off first with one I'm very excited about. Steven Spielberg to direct sci-fi film Ready Player One. Ready Player One is one of my favorite books of all time. It is so good. Steven Spielberg looks to have found his next movie, having attached himself to direct the big screen adaptation of Ready Player One for Warner Brothers and Village Roadshow.
Is this the one with all the pop culture references?
It is. There are a ton of pop culture references in this book. Ernest Cline penned the popular sci-fi novel, an adaptation of which the studio has been trying to get off the ground for some time, with everyone from Robert Zemeckis to Christopher Nolan showing interest at one time or another. But now, Steven Spielberg will be directing the film. The novel, published in 2011, is set in a not-too-distant future where advanced internet gaming and virtual reality technologies have changed the world as we know it and led to the creation of the Oasis, a virtual reality universe that people... Can I finish the synopsis before you jump right into it?
Cut out.
I mean, I know it's your birthday.
It's not about the synopsis, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, into the creation of the Oasis, a virtual reality universe that people live in and value more than the real world.
But
it would have been funnier if I had like one word left.
Fun fact. This is, I think, off Wikipedia. I'm not sure, so take it for what it is. The audiobook is narrated by Will Wheaton.
It is. Because I actually want to listen to it, even though I've read the book.
Okay, there you go. Another Star Trek person.
So, moving on, Full House to return for new season on Netflix, or so is rumored. Netflix is one step closer to ordering a new season of Full House, the ABC sitcom that ran from 1987 to 95, starring John Stamos and Bob Saget. According to TVLine.com, which broke the news, the new show would be called Fuller House and would focus on Candace Cameron Burr's character of eldest daughter DJ and her best friend Kimmy Gibbler. Netflix.
Didn't Saget come out and say how much he hated Full House? Did I make that up? I thought he hated doing Full House.
I didn't hear
made
that.
Him a lot of money.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, I might have made that up.
I mean, it was definitely different from any comedy he's ever done.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the bluest comedians that's out there.
Yeah.
And, so it was very different to see him do this, which led into America's Funniest Home Videos.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see if this turns to a real life thing.
They did something similar with Boy Meets World. They did Girl Meets World, where now it's
Goyle Meets World,
where it follows his daughter named Goyle. In her young adulthood.
I think that's still a thing.
It is.
It's on,
my wife and I watched the first episode, but it really is more towards kids. So I'm curious if they're going to do this one the same way, like more towards the current generation, or if they're going to try and focus it more towards our generation who grew up watching Full House.
Well, it sounds like the Girl Meets World is about the girl, and I think Ben said that that this one will be focused around one of the daughters, who I assume would be counted as grown up. So
yes, she is. Yeah. She's all grown up.
She grown up.
This was a tough week to find news stories too, because this was also the week of April Fools.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of fake stories coming out on this one. So I had to weed through them very carefully and see which ones actually had some truth behind them. But sticking to Netflix news, and this is no surprise, House of Cards renewed for Season 4 by Netflix.
They better have.
Yeah.
After the way Season 3 ended.
So I hear.
No spoilers, no spoilers. I'm not finished yet.
I won't give you any, but...
I'm halfway through.
They had to have known that they were going to get a new season before they finished this season.
The show's like a juggernaut for Netflix. Mm-hmm. But Netflix is bringing back the original series House of Cards, continuing Frank Underwood's diabolical schemes for a 4th season. Netflix said the 4th season of House of Cards is set to begin production this summer, and we will probably have to wait for it until next March or April.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, end of February, early March usually is when it comes out.
It's been out for a couple weeks already, hasn't it?
Yeah, it came out the last weekend in February.
Yeah. This will be interesting to see. Groundhog Day musical hits Broadway in 2017. Groundhog Day, the hit 1993 Columbia Pictures comedy, will poke its head up on Broadway in spring of 2017, bowing in a new musical version from the creators of the current Broadway draw Matilda. Groundhog Day, which starred Bill Murray and Andy McDowell on screen, follows a cocky weatherman who gets caught in a time loop that forces him to relive Groundhog Day again and again. The well-regarded film is widely considered a comedy favorite. So the musical Groundhog Day will begin previews January 23rd, 2017, ahead of a March 9th, 2017 opening at a Broadway venue still yet to be announced. So we'll see. I'm sure between Matilda and Rocky and Annie, it's probably going to be a hit.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, it feels like it could work. So
yeah, I could see it.
It'll be the same musical number over and over and over and over
could
again.
Be funny.
It could be funny if they do it right. Here's another one I'm pretty excited about. ABC developing a Muppet Show reboot from the Big Bang Theory's executive producer. It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights once again. 2015 will be the year of the TV revival. ABC is developing a reboot of The Muppet Show.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, I grew up on The Muppets. I love The Muppets. The network has ordered a pilot presentation featuring The Muppets. Entertainment Weekly has confirmed. Details of the plot are being kept under wraps, but Bill Prady, co-creator of The Big Bang Theory, is co-writing and executive producing.
Which favorite Muppet?
Favorite? Well, see, that's a tough one for me, because my favorite Muppets are Statler and Waldorf.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people. Steve, do you have a favorite?
The old guys. Is that Statler and Waldorf?
That's Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah. So they were the best of the original shows. They were the best of the movies.
I'm a big Swedish chef kind of guy, even though I can't pronounce it.
If you go with the core group, Gonzo would probably be my favorite.
Did anybody notice I'm a huge Muppet Christmas Carol fan?
So am I. One of my favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah, well, it's the best.
My favorite.
And then obviously there's only one Marley in the real Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
But they made the old guys, Jacob and Robert, who is also could be known as Bob Marley. That's just the genius of Jim Henson.
They're Marley and Marley. So I love the fact that Jim Henson and the Henson Company found a way to fit Statler and Waldorf in every Muppet movie.
Yeah.
I forget where they are in Muppets in Space, but in Christmas Carol they are the door. They're Marley and Marley. My favorite role for them in any of the Muppet movies is Muppet Treasure Island. They are the mast on the ship.
Yeah.
And still making smart-ass comments. So, and the last story for Next Level News is one Adam will know exactly why. Steve, you might know too. I am extremely torn on, and you will know just from the headline. Arrow star Stephen Amell lands Casey Jones' role in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're making another one?
Yeah, they're making another one.
Is it the same people?
When it does that well at the box office, I mean...
It doesn't matter how bad the movie was, they're going to make a sequel. Stephen Amell has been tapped to play Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 for Paramount and Platinum Dunes. Megan Fox is set to return as April O'Neil, or as the worst choice of an April O'Neil ever portrayed on television or film. Will Arnett is also recording. David Green is directing the pick. Plot details and information on other returning cast members are still unknown. A loner who becomes an ally of the Turtles and a love interest for April O'Neil, so he'll get to make out with Megan Fox. Jones is a favorite of the series going back to when Eliza Cotis played him in the 1990 New Line.
Right, just don't look at her thumbs.
Yeah, they're the size of big toes.
Yeah.
So I love Casey Jones. I love the character of Casey Jones. So I'm excited for the fact that Stephen Amell is playing that part. I just don't like this reboot of this movie series.
Fun fact, I went as Casey Jones one year for Halloween.
Did you?
Yeah, it's not really a fun fact, more of a random fact. But, yeah, I didn't see the first one. I don't plan on seeing it really anytime soon. It looks pretty dumb, but I guess if he's in the next one, I guess I kind of have to.
I'm a supporter of his, so I'm going to have to watch it.
Thanks
I watched the
Steven,
first one.
You owe me.
Trust me, I'm going to that wine mixer of his after the Sunday of Wizard World, and I'm going to say something about this. I mean, granted, I know the reason he's probably doing it is the paycheck.
Oh yeah,
and maybe he is a fan of the character too. So, I'm sure maybe this is him wanting to do something that his kids can watch. Because his daughter's growing up, so maybe this is something his daughter can watch as she gets older. But I'm going to bust his stones on it a little bit if I get the chance to talk to him, which hopefully I will. If we ever get to interview him, we're certainly going to bust his stones on it.
Correct.
So, but made $191 million at the box office. Didn't matter how horrible the movie was; it made money. So, but that is going to wrap it up for Next Level News. So I went away last weekend. We had an old school gaming night with a bunch of friends from college and their family and such. We hooked up in a television. We hooked up an original NES. And it's basically a weekend away. But a topic came up, and I wanted to bring this up to you two because I wanted to see what you guys thought because it sparked a conversation for us. And I didn't want to tell you what the question was. It's a would you rather question. And I didn't want to tell you what it was because I wanted to get your spur of the moment.
I want to be on record. I did not like this part of it. I don't like surprises.
Yeah, you really didn't.
I don't like surprises. So I would have rather known what I was getting myself into, but
it's seriously, it's not that bad. It's not like would you rather, screw a certain person. It's nothing like that. But here's the scenario. You go to bed tonight and you wake up tomorrow morning. When you wake up in the morning tomorrow, would you rather be able to see and not hear or hear and not see?
Crap.
And I know what my answer to this would be. And I actually fell on the minority within our group. What my answer was. So do you want me to tell you what my answer was before while you guys think about what yours is? Or do you guys
I want you to
pretty
tell
much
us
know?
last.
Okay.
Steve, do you have your answer?
Yes.
Go ahead.
See and not hear, but it's not that close.
Yeah, I think I would go with that. See and not hear.
So again, I actually fall on the minority within our group.
You'd rather hear and not see because you love music so much?
And that is actually no.
I wasn't kidding.
You laugh.
I was being serious.
You laugh, Steve, but that is the dead set reason as to why. It's one thing to be able to still see films and not hear them because there's ways around that. But my life, I could never survive without music. Like, music is what feeds my emotion. Music is what drives me. I know I'm a big film buff, but I could live without ever having seen another
Speaking
movie.
of what drives you, I like to drive, and I feel like I could still do that if I had my sight.
I'm not sure you're allowed, are you?
That was a good segue, by the way.
I don't know. I'm sure there's a way.
Actually, I think Steve's right. I don't think you're allowed to drive deaf either.
Well,
I had no idea, but it would make sense if you couldn't because
I can guarantee
you wouldn't be able to
drive
hear anything
blind,
around
so.
you. That's fair.
And one of the arguments within our group was that one of the people would rather not have to have help all the time to get to places. If you can still see, you can see where you're going. You can dress yourself. You can, see around your apartment.
Yeah.
You can see around your home. You can walk out the front door and know exactly what's out there and not have to have help.
Although there was some new thing where they did something with this guy's eyes. I don't remember, but he was able to kind of see shapes and whatnot, and kind of in a way see like his wife for the first time in a while. It wasn't how you and I see things, but it gave him a type of vision.
I think it was the night vision drops, wasn't it? Or was that something completely different?
Yeah, this is something I didn't talk about on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess with technology, I don't know, what technology do you think would help more, your hearing or your sight? Because I feel like that should come into play, too.
I think technology right now, the way it is right now, it's probably easier for it to help your hearing than your sight. Because I've seen videos online of people being able to hear for the first time.
Oh, really?
Due to hearing aids and things like that. Yeah, so hearing can be fixed.
Okay.
But we're talking more something that's going to be permanent. Like it's not going, there's no fixing it. You wake up blind or you wake up deaf and that's it.
See, I think if I were blind, I would have a constant paranoia that somebody was going to try and trip me.
Well, that just shows the kind of friends that you have.
I don't trust anybody.
So, I mean, again, music was probably the biggest reason as to why I would choose to be able to hear over see. Because, like I said, music is pretty much what drives me. It's what fuels my emotions. So I don't know if I could ever live without hearing music ever again.
And you know what? Actually, another reason I'd rather keep my sight and lose my hearing instead, maybe I could go back and watch The Nanny without having to shoot myself in the head.
It's like an actually good show.
Yeah. Maybe The Nanny is actually a funny show.
It's written really well.
Yeah, like you go back and you're reading, you're like, oh my god, this is actually a really good show.
You're reading the subtitles, the captions.
Oh my god, this is fantastic.
I mean, and to the argument that you could go out and you could help yourself, you could see where you're going and things like that. People who are blind and have been blind for all of their life, they can do that stuff now. You learn to adapt. It's what the human mind does.
Like Daredevil.
Exactly. I mean, who knows? Maybe my other senses will be heightened now and I can fight crime.
Maybe
it's not going to happen.
But maybe my sight gets heightened and I can see through walls.
No, we're just going to skip that one.
Okay. I tried. Speaking of Daredevil, we may have
seems unreal.
We may have an interview with somebody from Daredevil soon. So
that would be sweet.
That
debuts this week.
I'm in contact. Yeah, on Friday,
the 10th.
I'm not going to say what day Friday is because I've been banned from mentioning it. But
it's your birthday. It's April 10th.
Yes.
You could have said April 10th. You would have been banned if you said it's my birthday, April 10th.
Or just your birthday without saying what day it is.
Yeah, that too. So, but you guys, that's pretty much what your answers would be. You guys would rather be deaf than blind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, some of them just, like I've done this would you rather stuff where you just go through pages and pages of a book, and some of them you think about, but some of them you just know what your answer is right away, and that one kind of just came to me. And I'm sure that I have a reasoning behind it, but I don't have much past. It kind of just came to me, and I want to see instead of hear.
So I just thought that was something worth bringing up to see what you guys thought about it. So
yeah, that's fair. And a fair argument about the music thing as well.
Yeah, I mean that is car rides would be a lot more awkward.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, and another thing I brought up too is
can't drive, so.
Like I think it would, and this was just another example I brought up too before we move on because we got to go to a break because we got the interview coming up. But one of the other things I brought up too is if I was alone in my apartment and if I was blind, if I was frustrated with the fact that I was blind, or if I was deaf and I was frustrated with the fact that I was deaf. Let's say I get really frustrated. I have a glass in my hand and I get so mad that I throw that glass against the wall. I can see that glass shatter, but if I can't hear it, I'm gonna get even more frustrated. But if I'm in the same situation where I'm deaf, I can't see the glass shatter, but I hear it. I'm still the sound is going to reaffirm me. It's just weird. Another thing somebody else brought up too was going out and just sitting outside in nature. He knows he wouldn't be able, if he was blind, he wouldn't be able to see the beauty that nature has. If you were out in the woods and you see all the trees and the leaves and the wind blowing and everything like that. But my argument to that was what makes that serene feeling is the fact that you can hear it too. You can hear the breeze, you can hear the birds chirping, you can hear the leaves shaking. So it's not going to be the same viewing it blind as if you were viewing it now.
And you could still technically do this podcast if you were blind.
I could.
You wouldn't be able to check your levels, but
I'll have them preset. I'll be fine.
You have somebody to help you with that.
Exactly. So, but, let's take a break since we have this interview with Andrew Santino from Yahoo's Sin City Saints. We will have that right after this break, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Stick around.
Hey all, this is David Hoffman from NBC's Crossbones, and you are listening to Next Level Radio. Have fun.
All right, it's time to bring on our special guest for this week. I personally became a fan of his after seeing him star in ABC's Mixology last year. You may have caught him hosting the gray carpet of the recent roast of Justin Bieber. You can currently watch him anytime by streaming the Yahoo original comedy Sin City Saints. Please welcome to the podcast, Andrew Santino. Andrew, how's it going?
Oh, guys, it's fantastic. I'm so happy to be here on the phone with you guys. This is the way I like to meet people.
Through the phone.
Never in person. In person is way too close. I need to just, phone is the only way. If we could just live through phones, the world would be such a better place,
Yeah, it's so personal, it's impersonal.
Yeah.
Exactly, man, exactly.
You must love Twitter then.
You know what's funny? I do like Twitter, but I hate a lot of things about it. I use it just to make jokes and have fun, but there's so many pieces of shit on there. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Like a guy yesterday, the term is trolling, when people just find you and then they delve into your, everything to try to, stir the pot and get you angry.
Yeah.
And I usually don't care or pay attention to it, but this guy tweeted at me 1,000 times, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I just had to block him. At first, I think it's funny. Last year when I was on Mixology, if someone would tweet, "Your show sucks and you suck," I would favorite it, and then I would retweet it. That's one of my favorite things. When someone was like, "Fuck you, die," which, by the way, people say, it's incredible how many people are like, "I want you to die," just because of a thing that you did that they didn't like. It's remarkable, but yeah, I would favorite it and retweet it and just say, "Thanks, brother. Much love to you, too." That whole kill him with the kindness thing. This guy yesterday, there was this middle-aged man who kept tweeting at me with a goatee. So, you know what kind of caliber guy he is. I hope neither of you have goatees now that I've said that out loud.
I do, but that's okay.
It's okay. We know what kind of...
Yeah, I do.
What kind of caliber guy Ben is.
Yeah,
so
I probably fit right in.
I just can't trust you with that goatee. Are you playing in the major leagues? What are you doing? You grow a beard or get it the fuck off your face.
I had a beard for the winter, so...
Okay, all right. Listen, but you're not a middle-aged man who's trolling the internet to say mean shit about me. But anyway, I do love social media, but when it gets to that kind of stuff, then I'm just like, you know what, I might as well just get off of it, because it's such an awful place sometimes for no reason. So,
speaking of beards, you recently shaved yours, didn't you? Every time I had seen you up until the roast, you had a beard, and you look so much younger without it.
Yeah, yes, I look my age. I probably look, I'm 31, and with the beard, I probably look 68. But without it, I look my real age. But I like having a little bit of a beard all the time. I'm usually a beard guy. It covers up the imperfections on your face. And if, the girl that you're seeing is not being nice to you, you can always scrape her face with it when you go to kiss her. It's almost like a defense mechanism as well. But I had to shave because I was going through pilot season, and CBS asked me to shave for this thing, and I shaved, and they didn't give me a fucking roll anyway. I wish I never shaved. In retrospect, I wish I never shaved, but...
Maybe it was a test. If he shaves, he just conforms. It's not working out.
Yeah. Hell, you know what it is? These guys, they beg you to do stuff. They're like, "Could you please? We would really love it. Oh, my God, please." And you feel like you're doing the right thing sometimes, but you're probably, you know what? You're right, even though you don't know it. You should just say no. Advice to all future actors and comedians: say no to everything. Say no to everything they ask. Just say no. Just say no. It wasn't about drugs, that whole thing, I realized. Drugs you say yes to. Say no to what's forcing you to do something. Just say no. That's the lesson I've learned.
Let's get on to Sin City Saints real quick. For anyone who hasn't checked it out yet, on Yahoo, streaming live for free. Tell us a little bit about the show and your character, Jake, the owner.
Cool. Yeah, I also want to say it's on Yahoo Screen, which is it's on. If you go to Yahoo, you can find it on Yahoo Screen, which is one of their subcategories of showing original content.
Yeah.
And it's even easier to find. Sorry, that's my chauffeur. It's even easier to find on Apple TV, and the Yahoo app is new, and they have all sorts of cool, simple things on there that you can play with, and it has no ads, so there's no advertising on Apple TV, which is what I love. But anyway, Jake Tullis is the owner of this team, the Saints basketball team in Las Vegas, the first professional basketball team in Las Vegas, and it's exactly how you think it would be. It's a boatload of chaos and nonsense, and I am the owner of the team. Tom Arnold is my right-hand man, and Mullen Ackerman is sent from the league to kind of whip us back into shape. And it's loaded with just a shitload of great comedic moments. The series kind of starts with our star player, Ladarius Pope, gets run over by the Pope Mobile that he comes in every game in, like a golf cart. And from there, the team kind of begins to fall to pieces, and we kind of just see how that series continues, and how I try to just put the pieces back together of what is clearly so beyond broken. And it's great, man. We have some really great moments in there. There's a lot of dick jokes, masturbating jokes. There's a lot of poop and fart humor. If you're into really highbrow stuff, you can take a hike. It's just funny. It's just straight up funny. It's directed by Brian Gordon, who did Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's part of the Larry David camp. And Fred Savage directed two of them too, who was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Our Wonder Years boy. Yeah, and it was incredible, man. It was a great time. There's all 8 episodes, and you just get to see me get pie on my face all the time. In every episode, it's like I screw up something every episode, and then you get to see the beautiful Mullen Ackerman every episode too. So that if nothing more, that's worth it. Nobody wants to see my ugly orange face, but she's pretty. So you can look at her whenever the screen is on.
Well, you're right about one thing. The show is fantastic. I just finished the 7th episode, so I only have one left. I'm gonna finish it up.
Nice.
The show is really hilarious, and a great cast for Yahoo not being really too well known for its original series. A great cast, even Rick Fox, a former Laker. Yeah. Were you a big fan of the NBA going into it, or did you have to kind of familiarize yourself once you got the role?
No, man. This was a dream come true. I'm a Chicago-born kid who grew up with the greatest basketball player to ever pick up a ball.
Yeah, you're lucky.
And yeah, I mean, like that's how I grew up with Jordan and in the Jordan era. And basketball was always my first love. I mean, I do like football and baseball and hockey a lot, but I always was a Chicago Bulls kid. I mean, to this day, the NBA and college basketball kind of take precedence over all the other sports that I watch, so I didn't have to familiarize at all. I mean, this was my way to go. Marlon, on the other hand, was hilarious. Marlon thought everybody was LeBron James. She was like, she's literally hysterical. She's like, "Is that LeBron? Is that LeBaron?" Like, it's not LeBaron. And no, LeBron James will not be on the show. But no, Rick Fox was the man, and I got really close with Baron Davis, who's on the show. He plays our kind of saving grace, our star player that returns to the NBA, or returns to our league, I should say. We're not the NBA. And him and I, became homies. He's the man. Baron's so cool. He's a good actor. He's funny, and he's a good dude. And the story of Baron's life on the show kind of mimics his life in real life. He took a break from the league, and he could have kept playing, and that's kind of what his character is exactly about. It was awesome. I mean, we had a few NBA legends stop by. John Sally does some of the announcing, so it was incredible to work with those guys. Right. And like being a fan of pro basketball was great. I mean, I would say if you're a sports fan, you'd like this show, and if you're not, you'd still like it because it's not completely centered around sports. There's some great moments that have nothing to do with sports, but I think it needs to be just pushed out to all these sports fans across the world, and they'll get a better grasp over how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA is not my favorite, but we here in Philadelphia have the Sixers right now, so I mean, how can it really be my favorite at this point?
I know, I feel bad for you guys, but hey, look at us. Are you kidding me? If I have, Derrick Rose can't get right, and
Yeah.
It's awful. Although, we've had some guys pick up the slack. Jimmy Butler's the man, and he's gotten almost seriously injured, and Aaron Brooks is great, and Noah's trying to keep it together coming up to the postseason. But I know tragedy, bro. After Jordan left, we don't have much else in Chicago. I mean, we're not Philly, but we're teetering near it.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot more mucky.
You at least have something though, with that past with Jordan and Pippen and that team. Like the Sixers don't have that at all. Like they're just.
Yeah, I mean, we had AI for a little, but we only
which is like the greatest.
Got to the finals at least.
No, yeah, I know, and I know what you're saying. We don't have much to hold on to now. I like hockey a lot, so I like the Blackhawks, and those are kind of the guys to watch because everybody else sucks. The Bears suck. I'm a North Side Chicago guy, so I'm a Cubs fan, and they suck. They're embarrassing, although everyone is jabbing on this year about how good they're going to be this upcoming year with all the moves we've made. But, that's the same speculation we have every year. I feel like it's the same thing I read in the paper. This next year, and then I go to some spring training games, and you hear all the chatter, but I feel like that's all talk until the game starts. We'll see what happens,
Oh, so the whole "there's always next year" isn't just a popular phrase in Philadelphia.
No, dude, that is how Chicagoans live and breathe. There's always next year. In fact, that's how these people live their whole lives. And the weather is so bad. That's why I left. I left so many years ago. Because I hated the winters, and Chicagoans are like, well, maybe next year's winter won't be so bad. Yes, it will. It will be just as bad, if not worse. Get out of there. I will. So I do love Philly. Philly, I'm a big fan of. No lie, I play Helium, the comedy club there. I've done it twice, and I love it. I absolutely love going to that club. It's on. I think it's on Congress. Is the name of the street?
I'm
totally wrong.
Sampson.
Huh?
Sampson Street.
Oh, okay, right. You're right. That's right.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fun. It's a little sketchy, but it's really fun.
Yeah, I go to Helium quite a bit actually. I'm a big fan of that club too.
Well, I think I'm going to go back this year. You guys will come and we'll hang out. We'll get drunk and we'll hit on transvestites.
Sounds like my kind of night. Hey, real quick, getting back to Sin City Saints, I gotta ask: was it weird being able to kind of treat Tom Arnold like shit for most of the season?
Yeah, it was. Tom and I grew very close because we worked together so often, and Tom being a stand-up and me being a stand-up, you have that immediate bond because you both like to feel like shit all the time. So we got along so well, and he's the man. He took it like a champ, you being a dick to him, but off camera, you kind of make up for it because we had a great relationship. But Tom's such a good sport and very underrated. If it was up to me, I think he would have a massive resurgence in his comedy career coming up because I think he's unbelievably talented and super funny, man. Just like really quick. He's super quick. He doesn't miss a beat. And, he's a lot for some people to handle, but if you know how to bounce with him, when he's on camera, when you get him, you get it. You know what I mean? I think that's the only way to say it. Some people just don't get it, but I totally get it.
Yeah, Tom is
but it was great. It was great.
Tom's somebody I actually have a lot of respect for because he's really brought his career and his life around, a big corner. From years ago, it was in bad shape and, he's in great shape now. He's lost a lot of weight. He's happily, I think at last I checked, I'm pretty sure he's happily married and.
He is. Yes, he is. He's got a beautiful wife and he has a new kid. So he's stoked about life right now, and so he should be. He's really changed his life around. He does. He works out every day. He eats healthy. He's clean and sober, and he is definitely someone I respect too, especially because what this business does to you sometimes, and especially what comedy does. It eats people alive. And Tom came back and. You've seen if you've seen the show. I mean, he's back in full swing. I think he's hysterical on the show. He's got some just super funny moments.
Yeah, he was given a second chance, years ago by Cameron for when he cast him in True Lies, and
yes, and thank God he did. I think they said that was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think something around that.
They had an anniversary for it, but he had some great stories. Tom's good to, he's good about telling stories. He had James Cameron. They were so far over budget that I think they had to shoot 48 hours one scene. They had to do like a 48-hour run, and no one got any sleep, and, James had gone out of his way to, ask if, anybody had a problem with it, and Tom was gung-ho about it, and he was like, we'll just do it, let's do it, it's enticing, it sounds fun. So he, I think that was kind of like his resurgence, and by way of also became very close with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which he has a million good stories of. He loves talking about Arnold.
Yeah, he was on a local station here in Philly, probably I think towards the end of last year, and he told the story about how Cameron really went to blows for him to get him into True Lies, and Fox said no, he's too much of a liability, we don't really want him in it, and Cameron was ready to turn around and say, well, that's fine, I'll take the movie somewhere else.
Yeah, he did. That's when you hear about loyalty, it gives you hope, I guess, for the business, because no one at all is loyal. But Tom is a loyal guy, and I think that has a lot to do with his character and the people he keeps around him. And most of those people around him, if not everyone, is a loyal person. He doesn't really trust, people that don't have good intention. And that's something that reflects in your character. Cameron did the right thing, and Tom is grateful for it.
Yeah.
But it was awesome working with him, man. All the time with the stories. He had so many of them.
So, I know going back further in your career, towards the beginning of it, you worked on Punk'd on MTV.
I did. I did.
So does that make you a bit of a prankster, or was that just something that you enjoyed doing with help?
No, I got it because I co-wrote a pilot for Comedy Central with another really funny comedian, Ian Edwards, who's a genius, who's done a lot of stuff. He wrote on SNL, Boondocks, and I think he writes on Blackish right now on ABC. And him and I wrote this kind of sketch/prank show for this studio that also did Punk. At the time, Punk wasn't back up, but we got hired to write that. That was probably my first writing job. And in the meantime, they had talked about bringing Punk back, and I had said I was a comedian, and an actor aspiring to get on something, and those guys were all about me doing it. And Ashton and Jason, the guys that run the studio, were into it. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a prankster in public. I just know how to improv with people and fuck with them. I know how to put on a straight face. So it was fun. It was a super fun time. It was the toughest time because we did super long shoots for no money and big elaborate pranks for celebrities that kind of didn't appreciate us doing it. So yeah, it was a point in my career, and I enjoyed it very much. But I'm happy I don't have to do hidden camera shows anymore.
Speaking of Comedy Central, I know earlier this week I turned on the pre-show for the Comedy Central roast of Justin Bieber, and had no idea, but you were the host, or co-hosting.
I was the host for the red carpet or the gray carpet, and I had picked a good friend of mine, Sarah Tiana, who's another comedian, to be the co-host with me, and it was awesome. And that was kind of due to the fact that I've known Justin since we worked together on Punk'd, and his whole camp was enthusiastic about me doing the red carpet, and and it was super fun, man. I had a lot of fun. I had to walk the line over being nice and also making a few cracks. You can't be too mean before they go inside, otherwise they won't want to walk the red carpet.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Comedy Central has shown a lot of love. I did that. I'm doing At Midnight on the 7th of April.
I was actually just going to ask, because I know Sarah just did it the other night.
Yeah, I'm doing it again on the 7th of April with Adam Ray, who's a great comedian, and Justin Peluso. And then this summer I'm going to tape my special with Comedy Central. So they're all over my radar lately. It's been awesome. They show me a lot of love this year, and I'm happy about it, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, At Midnight's a great show. I know we'd love to talk to Chris at some point, later on down the road as well. And you just mentioned Jessie Mae Peluso, who's actually going to be at Helium this weekend here in Philly.
Oh, fantastic. She's very funny, very talented girl.
Yeah. So so you've been friends with Justin for a while then?
I wouldn't say friends. We don't go to lunch, but I've known him since the show, and when we did Punk, he kind of, he became a part of our whole crew, because we were working all together, and I became friends with some of the people that work with him, his manager, and one of his stylists is a very close friend of mine, and we kind of all stayed in touch, and, I've seen the kid kind of go through what he's gone through and come out somewhat a little bit cleaner on the other side, and, he's got a long career ahead of him, but people like to shit on him, so the roast was a good opportunity to let everyone just dump shit all over his head, and I think he used it as a way to say, here, get it out. You're going to get it out. Get it all out. Say it to my face and say it, and then we'll get it over with, and then maybe that'll garner a little bit of respect. And I think maybe it did. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the public meter, but I think some people appreciated him letting himself get shitted on. There's a level of respect that comes along with that.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I'm a big fan of the roasts. I haven't missed one. I've been watching them since they were still the Friars Club roasts that Comedy Central used to air.
The original.
Yeah. And I was a little thrown by the idea of Justin being the next target. And, I go right along with what you said about, how people shit on him for a while. But again, I also fall into what you said too, is that I actually gained a little bit more respect for him by the end of it, especially because he was a little more open and honest and truthful at the very end of it. Pretty much almost apologizing to the public for being who he was and how he said, he was kind of thrown into that life and when you think about it that way, you kind of agree with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I used to do a couple of jokes about it, about how I think it was funny that people hated him. I couldn't really wrap my head around it. I never hated the kid. I don't know how anybody could give a shit, because you have nothing to do with him. He's just a young pop star, and what do you want? You know what I mean? $500 million, and you expect him to be anything but out of control. I think it's kind of like shame on America for putting him on this crazy pedestal and then expecting him to be anything but a tyrant when you give a child $500 million. I think it's an unrealistic expectation, and we're idiots. We're idiots for pretending like it's a surprise,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, going back to what you said before, I don't care what you say, man. Anyone who brings a video of another man's monkey in Germany is a friend.
Yeah, he was very appreciative and excited about that, and very happy and gracious that I did that for him. We had gone through the ringer to get real actual video of the monkey, because it was a big controversy. I don't know if you guys know the whole story behind that, but it was a big deal. He had to leave this monkey in Germany, and we actually got video from them. We had to lie and say we were part of some rescue organization, a lot of footage, and all this stuff, and
wow,
we got it, so it was good. But yeah, we did that for the kid as a sign of, a good sign of faith or whatever, that we weren't gonna make fun of him outside on the red carpet, because I had told him, he said he'll do the interview on the red carpet, but he didn't want to get shitted on before he even went inside, and I said, I promise I won't. So that was kind of my way of showing him that I wasn't going to do that,
Yeah, and I think you could tell by his reaction that he appreciated it.
Oh, yeah. No, he did. He genuinely found it to be really great, and it was great about it. And then afterwards, they jumped. They didn't even party this whole camp. They jumped on a plane and went to Vegas or something right away. So they didn't even get to enjoy the festivities afterwards. And neither did I, actually. I didn't get to do the after party, which kind of bums me out, because I really wanted to, because those are really fun. I went for one drink, and then I jumped on a plane to go to Austin, Texas for South by Southwest at 4 in the morning the next day.
It's a long day.
It seems like Comedy Central. It seems like Comedy Central kind of stepped up for this one too. They kind of wanted to push not push the boundaries, but push the promotion on this one. I've never really seen a red carpet or a gray carpet, or a pre-show for a roast before.
Or carpet at all. They didn't even have carpets before.
Yeah, they usually have very small ones, if any. But yeah, they wanted to push it out because it was going to be the highest rated roast they've ever had, obviously. And,
yeah.
And they wanted to kind of give him more of a show, so to speak. And they did a great job. I mean, the production value was massive. I mean, they spent a ton of money. when you look at the stage, I mean, it took up a whole hangar on the Fox lot. I mean, it was massive. It was massive.
Yeah. Well, enough about Justin. Let's get back to you.
Yes.
You obviously wear your red hair as a badge of honor, and I guess you kind of have to, being in comedy, you kind of have to make fun of yourself at the same time. But I remember specifically, going back to when we first brought you in, I had mentioned mixology. I remember one episode where one of the women in the show only went after redheads, and that's who your character was going for in the bar. Is that really a thing? Do women really do that?
Yes. There is a girl who loves redheaded women. They're out there. I know we're hard to look at, but some women find us attractive. Yeah, there are. In fact, that girl, that was what we called a pumpkin pounder on the
That's what it was. I couldn't remember the name. That's what it was. Pumpkin pounder.
Pumpkin pounder. She actually is. She's a great actress. She's on the show Empire now, which is like the biggest hit of all time.
Yeah, it's like Fox's big go-to.
Oh, dude, it's insane. I mean, I think it was like 17 million views. It was something completely absurd. But yeah, she was great. But yeah, the pumpkin pounders exist, man. They are real people. I don't know the fetish. I don't get it. Redhead women have never really, been my thing. Although I rarely see them. You see more redhead men than women, I guess. But yeah. Surprisingly, there are a pretty good amount of girls who find redheaded men attractive. Thanks for the self-esteem boost, guys. I appreciate
it. Another thing I heard about, you were originally set to be on How I Met Your Dad, right? Back last year when How I Met Your Mother was ending?
Yes, I did. I booked the show in second position, depending on if mixology was going to come back on ABC, and I had a good inkling that it wasn't. So we went out and tested the water a little and got an offer from the guys over at How I Met, and it sounded so great because it was like a great cast of people. Pam Fryman was set to direct again, who did the whole entire series of How I Met, and she's incredible. And Emily Spivey, who was co-EPing it and writing it, who, if you don't know, is the co-EP and one of the writers for Last Man on Earth, Forte's new show, which I think is maybe one of the best things on television. She was attached to it, and I just was so intrigued by all the people that were going to be on it. Anders from Workaholics was going to be on the show, and I was just excited about it. And we did it, and something didn't really click. I think the guys, Craig and Connor, were so tired from doing so many seasons of How I Met that it was hard for them to dedicate a lot of time to this,
Yeah.
And no blame on anybody. But it just kind of didn't work out. I just kind of think it was, it's a blessing in disguise that it didn't go, because then I got to do Sin City Saints, and that left the hole for something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, were you surprised when it didn't get picked up, or did you kind of feel it while you were doing a little bit of the production?
No, I can candidly say now that I wasn't surprised in the slightest. There was a lot missing from it. We weren't hitting a lot of good notes that we wanted to hit. I think Fox and CBS had differing opinions on what they wanted to put on the air, and the whole process was a little crazy. The script was getting rewritten literally every day that we were shooting it. We were just shooting one episode.
Right.
A girl got let go the day before we shot, and a new girl got hired, and we went through just a ton of up and down. There was like so many, and I remember going home the first rehearsal day and thought, there's no way this is going to get picked up. There was no synergy, there was no chemistry, like something was just missing. And, and that's okay. That happens a lot. TV is hard to make successful. I mean, there's so many cooks in the kitchen, and it's difficult. But it was a good experience. I had a great time, and I'm happy I did it. It was fun to do, to learn, a new thing. I've never done multicam before, so that was a multicam sitcom, and I'd never done it. So it was a fun experience, to say the least.
Yeah. I know, getting back to your stand-up that you had mentioned before, you had mentioned that you had been here in Philly and, you play Helium and things like that. So do you still get to tour a lot now that you're not doing Sin City Saints, or that you're in between, hopefully, what's going to be a second season of Sin City?
I'm doing a little bit of stand-up now, locally around the Los Angeles area, because I'm prepping to do an hour. So I'm kind of been working out that, and then I will go on the road a little bit here, but I am kind of waiting to see what happens with that, and then plan my schedule accordingly. I hope it comes back for a second season. I hope enough people like it and think it's funny. But I will be organizing a tour in the later part of the year, probably in the fall.
Oh, cool.
So it wouldn't affect my Sin City schedule if we did it again anyway. So for now, I'm kind of taking it easy and focusing on other stuff. And I'm in talks and developing some stuff. So that's kind of my priority, and doing stand-up locally here. I mean, I'm up in L.A. every single night, or in the Southern California area. Tonight I'm down in Irvine, and then I'm doing an hour in San Diego the following night. So I'm constantly working on it. And if I'm not, on the road, I'm at the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, the Improv, or a lot of clubs around town. I just shot my bit for my set for The Meltdown Season 2 on Comedy Central with Jonah and Kumail, which was really fun. And that comes out in the summer. But, yeah, I've just been working locally, and, I want to get back out on the road a little bit, but if I can stay at home and work here, it's a little bit easier for me,
Yeah.
Where's your, you mentioned the Comedy Central special. Where's that going to be filmed at?
We're going to be out in Boston. Yeah, we'll be out in Boston, unless something changes, but from what I've been told, it'll be Boston. And when we get a set date, I'll get some dates around that, warming up for it, and maybe Philly will be one of my dates around that, because it's a neighboring city of Boston. It's not too far away.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Definitely gonna have to come check you out next time you're in town.
Please. I'll definitely put one of you on the guest list. The other one, you guys are over it.
Well, see, now I feel...
I don't have a goatee.
I was just going to say, I have the goatee, so I'm probably going to be left off the list.
No. If it's a matter of who gets in, goatee or not, I'm actually going to say goatee on this one, just because of how bad I see it.
All right, that's fair enough.
Well, I was going to say, I'll just grow the beard back out, especially if it's in the fall. This way, it won't be an issue.
You don't have to change for me. I'm not a girl. Don't change for me. Just be who you are for the rest of your life. But no, hopefully I will get back out, like we were saying, on the road. Start working out the road again. I do enjoy it. I do it often, and sometimes it wears thin on you, but I've taken enough of a break where I only go out once in a while. I just did Phoenix, and like I said, I was in Arizona. I was in Austin doing South by Southwest, and then I'll be back out on the road for sure in no time, and I'll post all my dates on AndrewSantino.com, which is where people can go to see all my content and all the stuff that I'm doing and all that jazz.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in good with Helium too. Like, we talk to their PR rep, and so we know who's coming to town, and we usually try and talk to people who come in. So if you make it into Philly and you play Helium, we'll definitely have you back on, and like you said,
I'd love that.
Have some drinks and hit on some transvestites or whatever.
I think that sounds good. I'll comedy. You guys provide the drugs.
there we go.
How long were you in Philly last time? Did you get to hang out for a few days and see some of the sites, or?
I did. I was there. I did the whole, it's like a Thursday through Sunday run, and I got to see the sites. I got to go to Geno's versus Pat's.
Which did you take? I have to ask.
Yeah, the Cheesesteak War and Love Park and all that stuff, and all the quintessential touristy bullshit. Because I'd been to Philly before, but I'd never really done anything there. I don't think. I was passing through maybe, or I was there for a day, and I did all the quintessential touristy stuff and had a good time, and had some recommendations that I'd never took up from Dom Herrera, who's a Philly guy, who's one of my favorite comedians.
Great
but
comedian.
he told me where to go, and I don't think I went to any of them. I just got too swamped up. But yeah, I'm excited to come back again. In fact, two of the local guys, two radio hosts there, took me out and about and around, and we went and had drinks. And God, if I could remember their name, it'd be helpful. But I just don't. I'm not gonna lie.
I could venture a guess. There's a pretty big Philly morning show around these parts.
It's not them though. If they took them out for drinks, because one of them doesn't drink.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know their name, and it could have been another city.
I'm just kidding.
I'm pretty sure it was Philly. But either way, you know what? Who knows?
Well,
but
when you come back
to
when you come back to Philly, we'll be the two radio guys that take you out for drinks.
I'm into that.
There you go.
Me. And you're not just radio guys to me. You're more than that.
That's such a great bond we have. I think we're better friends than you and Bieber at this point.
Well, anybody is better friends with anybody now with that kid. I think I'm better friends with my tennis shoes than I am with him. But inanimate objects are probably more meaningful than his friendship. But yeah, we're close now, and when I come back into town, we'll link up and we'll do the damn thing and tell all your fans to watch Sin City Saints on Yahoo and Apple TV and keep pushing it for us so we can get another season and I can keep touring and instead of moving back to Chicago and living with my dad.
in the snow.
Yeah, in the shitty weather.
All right, well, yeah, I mean, this has been great, Andrew. Make sure you check out Andrew again, like he said, on Sin City Saints anytime on Yahoo. I think you just screen.yahoo.com will get you where you need to go. Also, make sure to follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Cheeto Santino.
I love that name, by the way.
Yeah, that is a good tag there. And
it's the color of my skin and my hair, and I figured it was only appropriate if it had some kind of rhyme to it. So
I will say the one episode in of Sin City where you had to kind of give up sex or whatever, and you were going for jogs. You might have some of the palest legs I've ever seen.
You're right, and you know what? I do that on purpose to keep away the gay community because many men think I'm gay because I'm gorgeous, and I'm not. I want to let them know that I'm not because most gay men tan, and I don't tan, and so that kind of keeps it at bay. Because usually I clean up in the gay community. I live here in Los Angeles in a neighborhood called West Hollywood. It's probably our predominantly gay community, and I love it because I get hit on every day. But, to keep them at bay, to keep the dogs at bay, I just keep my legs real pale. You should see my stomach, real see-through. Real see-through.
Well, like Andrew said a little bit ago, again, make sure you go to andrewsantino.com if you want to see what else he's up to, see when he's doing some of his comedy tours, especially when he gets back on that. So, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us, man. This was a good time.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys, and when I'm in Philly, we'll get it together.
Yeah, definitely. All right, stick around. There's more Showcast coming your way in just a second.
Hey, I'm Chris Parnell from Archer, and you're listening to the Showcast on Next Level Radio.
Don't tase me, bro!
Special thanks to Andrew Santino. That was awesome that he got to spend a good amount of time with us, actually.
Yeah, and I do plan on finishing the season up pretty soon. It's a good show. And Steve, I actually think you would like it because it's not necessarily NBA, but it's professional basketball.
Sure.
Rick Fox
is it watchable? Is it as well as far as Yahoo goes? Is that like a free thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never watched a show.
Yeah, it's
on
absolutely
Yahoo
free. Most
Yahoo Screen.
Yeah, most of the places I've watched it in, there's only been a couple times where I've had to watch ads. A lot of times it's ad free.
Oh, that's
so I don't
cool.
know how they make money, but
being Yahoo.
Yeah, pretty much. They probably make their money on ads and stuff on the side of the screen and on the other pages that they have. So Netflix can't do that because they're Netflix.
Right.
So, but yeah, special thanks to Andrew. Hopefully we can have him on. Again a little bit later on.
I think he's an up and comer, man. I think he's on his way up.
Well, he was great on the gray carpet for the pre-show for the Justin Bieber roast.
Yeah.
So, he was great at that, and I mean, even though we found out he did it because he's friends with Bieber.
Kind of.
Well, he claims he's not friends
Right.
with Bieber, So, but he's friends with Bieber.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got that special on Comedy Central coming up, which anytime you can land one of those is pretty big.
Yeah, and when he comes to town, we'll get to go out and have drinks and hit on transvestites.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that part the most, I think.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Speaking of the Bieber roast, did both of you watch that, or just Ben? I know Ben watched it. Steve, did you get a chance?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was actually pretty good.
It was funnier than I anticipated.
Martha
it being.
Stewart was hilarious.
I'll tell you who was really funny was Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
from Saturday Night Live. Oh my God, man! His first joke, man, killed it. Like he started strong. Yeah. He came on and Steve, you didn't see it, but his first joke was aimed at Kevin Hart, and he walked up, and he's like, he's so happy to be at a roast hosted by Shaq's dick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was really good, and it was long, but it took me a couple days to I DVR'd it and I watched it kind of in spurts. But no, it was really funny. Everybody, I don't think there's anybody that wasn't that funny. Jeff Ross, he annoys me kind of, but even he was funny at the roast. So
yeah, Natasha Leggero.
Apparently, they
great.
cut Jeff Ross's best joke because it was best comparing. By means of how terrible of a person you are, but because it was about Paul Walker.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, God. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I heard about the Paul Walker joke being cut. I didn't hear what the joke was, but...
apparently nobody else did either.
No, it's out there.
Oh, really?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You don't have to mention. No. Tell us off air.
We'll do.
Yeah, I'll have to look for it, too, after I hear from you. But yeah, there was... It's funny, too, because watching it, you can see that Bieber had such a blank look on his face for half of it, and I swear it's because he didn't get the jokes.
It's possible. He did. He just. I will say this:
him.
He did have that nice little speech at the end.
He did, and I do have a little bit more respect for him. And we talked to Andrew about that too. I have a little bit more respect for him because he did acknowledge that he's made mistakes. And the reason why behind it is actually a legit reason. He was brought up in that world. He never really had a childhood. And it's, and his parents, his dad's not the greatest example.
Give a 12-year-old $200 million, and that's what happens.
Yep. So, but yeah. So it was good.
Yeah, I liked it too. But I guess we should move on. We'll run through these quick. As you may know, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, the new season 5, right? Premieres this Sunday, the 12th, on HBO. Yeah. By the way, this is going to contain spoilers. So if you are not caught up, you might want to skip ahead about 5 minutes or so. We'll try and get through this within the next 5 minutes, but,
go ahead and skip ahead 10 minutes. And if we're not talking about it, you can rewind.
Yeah.
We want to make sure you don't hear anything we say.
Yeah, just to be on the safe side. Cause I don't know if we've ever spent 5 minutes on anything in this show. It usually goes longer.
Unless you're caught up, then just keep listening.
Spoiler alert. I don't have I should have had an alarm, like a whoop, whoop, but I don't. So, spoiler alert. There are spoilers lie ahead. So if you are a Game of Thrones fan, as you know, there is a large theme of betrayal amongst the show, and I actually saw a promo for the new season, which was kind of centered around betrayal, which gave me the idea to bring up what we think could be our top 5 Game of Thrones betrayals so far through 4 seasons. Top 5 mainly because it's usually a pretty good number to go by, and also it's season 5, so kind of a little homage to that. So I guess, do you guys want to start off saying what we all kind of think number 5 would be in our top 5?
We can. I didn't rank them, but we can. Just make it up.
we were all in pretty much agreement with the top 5 would be. Yeah, we just didn't put them in order.
I think number 1's a layup. So we'll get to that. But
I don't know, because we might be differing on what we feel our number 1 is. We might be swapped on this one, but I'll explain why when we.
We'll go with a honorable mention at least to when Daenerys went to Astapor and got her army of Unsullied by tricking them into thinking they were going to get a dragon. When in fact she took the dragon back, commanded him to burn down the entire city. And then just took the army and ran. So,
fun fact: it's Daenerys, not Daenerys.
Oh, sorry. Whatever. Yeah, everybody just calls her Dany. So,
true.
The comic relief is going to come straight from me because I don't know a single person's name, and I've seen every episode.
Steve,
so I literally just describe people.
Steve,
you're going to know who I'm talking
Steve,
about.
I'm on your boat with
that
though because I had to look all these names up on IMDb when I was making this list.
Don't feel bad. I've read the books, and I still get confused on who is who.
There's so many people.
So, there is.
I was like, who is that guy? Oh, that's his name.
I promise you'll know who I'm talking about, but I won't say a name for this whole segment.
Well, that was our I guess our honorable mention, kind of runner up to number 5. Would number 5 then for all of us be Baelish, the Weasley looking guy, throwing Lysa, which is the redheaded lady's sister out the moon door, which is the window that's on a floor.
Yeah, that would probably be my next.
Yeah, that's fifth.
To describe it in Steve's, probably how Steve would describe it.
Well, I describe Baelish. You guys, none of you guys will get this. I describe Baelish as Carcetti because he plays a mayor in The Wire. So I describe him as his Wire character.
Is he as much of like a sneaky son of a bitch in that show too?
Yeah, he's the mayor of Baltimore. So yeah,
that'll do it. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 4 is kind of tough for me, at least. I think I might go with Shay, which is the hoe bag, betraying Tyrion, who's the little person, aka Peter Dinklage.
Oh, that's politically correct.
Aka Peter Dinklage.
And hoe bag isn't.
She's a whore.
Well, that's what she is.
She betrays him both in court and in the bedroom, causing him to whack his pops. So, which is another T name. What was his dad's name? Tyrell?
King Lannister. That's what I call
Mr. Lannister.
Yeah. Yes. I had that last part as the number 4 part. Like that's what I had Tyrion when the moment he shot and killed his father. I didn't have the whole lead up to it, but that's it kind of goes all goes with it.
Yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand. Ben,
see, I would actually have that a little bit further down on my list. I would have that probably closer to.
What
3.
would your number 4 then be? The Purple Wedding?
Yeah, probably because see, I saw that coming, and I felt I didn't think it was a big betrayal because it was deserved.
True.
I mean, a lot of these things that happen in the show are deserved, so I can't really use that as an argument. But I felt no remorse for him at all. Like I was happy. So I didn't count it as betrayal. Like I found it as something that just needed to happen. So I think Purple Wedding is as big of an event as it was, and as happy as I was to finally see it. I think Purple Wedding would probably be 4th for me.
Okay. I think I have that as number 3 then. So we're just swapped on that. Steve, do you have Purple Wedding at 3?
I do have Purple Wedding at 3, yep.
Okay. So yeah, we have that one swapped. I think it's just it was a huge sigh of relief when they finally killed him, to be honest.
Well, it's as I've brought up to people before too. Like every character in that show, no matter how evil they are, how bad they've been, they still have at least some redeeming quality about them. And Joffrey had not one redeeming quality about that little prick.
He was a little douchebag.
How recently have you guys seen the first Batman? The first Nolan Batman? I believe it's called Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
Within the last year.
Is he in it?
He's in
it.
He's a little kid, and he gets slapped by one of the cops.
He's Gordon's son, isn't he?
No, yeah, he gets slapped by one of the cops. And you go, yeah, hit the kid, because it's completely Game of Thrones reference instead of the actual movie you're watching.
And the funny thing about that is like he plays one of the biggest pricks in television ever. But if you ask any cast member about it, they all he is the total opposite of that character. Like he's extremely sweet, he's extremely funny, like he's just one of the nicest guys on set, and they all feel so bad. They always felt so bad for him when they were shooting because it was totally not him to play Joffrey.
In real life, he doesn't make prostitutes defile themselves?
No, at least not as far as I've read.
And he gets it the worst in the street, too, from people that are just walking down the street, they just rip them.
When people forget that it's a TV show.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so number 2 then for me, this might be where Ben goes the other way. I would go with Ned Stark being betrayed, both by Baelish, aka what's the Wire character's name?
Carcetti.
And also by Joffrey, when he beheaded him after he promised that, if he would show mercy if he confessed. And he did confess, and then he still got his head chopped off. So that's number 2 for me.
Are we going with me then on this one?
You can just say if you agree or not.
I disagree.
Okay. Steve?
I also disagree.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
So, I guess, my number 1 and your number 2, I'll let you guys, one of you guys take the handle on this one then.
Yeah, my number 1 and 2 would be swapped to yours. I think the Red Wedding would actually fall, second. And Ned Stark being beheaded in the first season, to me, is probably the biggest, because it is the first of the betrayals for this series. And it's the biggest shock of all betrayals so far. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Red Wedding was a true, holy shit, did I just watch that happen?
I literally had to take a week off from watching the show after the Red Wedding. Like, I almost didn't want to watch it anymore.
But I mean, Joffrey having him beheaded, in the first season, again, is the first betrayal of many betrayals that happen from King Joffrey and in general in that series. And I think it was that moment that, it's not only just a betrayal in the show, but it's a betrayal of what you come to expect when you're watching television at that point. Because at that time, Ned Stark is probably the biggest character in that show.
Yeah, he was the main character throughout season 1.
And, when he's lining up to be beheaded, you're sitting there watching and you're like, oh, well, something's going to happen. Something's going to save him. It's just, and the closer it gets, you're like, wait, wait, come on. Like, something's got to happen. And when he's finally beheaded, you're like, I can't trust television anymore.
His head's going to go back on, right? Like, it's going to grow back, right?
This is where the supernatural aspect comes into it, right? Like, he's immortal now.
Guys.
Yeah, and for me, like, I think, like, it was a big betrayal on the show, but to me it was a big betrayal of what you come to expect when you watch television.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, the reason I have Red Wedding up there is because I didn't have to take a week off from the show after he got beheaded. I had to literally step away from the show for a while and process what happened after the Red Wedding, and I mean, it just was absolutely insane, and to the fact that Walter Frey is still alive makes it even worse for me.
Yeah,
the guy who pretty much orchestrated that whole thing.
Steve, would your reasoning for? Well, first off, you have to say is your standing what mine is?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Ned Stark 1 and the Red Wedding 2. And Ben literally said everything that I was going to say, but I can add that I watched. Because I don't know if people remember or not, but that happens. The Ned Stark thing happens in the second to last episode rather than a season finale. And I watched that.
So does the Red Wedding.
Yeah, Red Wedding is the same. Yeah, and I watched it with our mutual friend Ryan, and we literally looked at each other, and I said, "Okay, this is a dream. We're going to come back, and he's going to be alive." I watched probably a half hour of the season finale before I said, he might actually be dead. Like, I watched a whole nother half hour of the show before deciding that he was actually dead. And because of that reason, that's what makes the Red Wedding 2 for me, in the sense that, not that I called it, because I don't think you can call the Red Wedding, but at that point that a theme of this show is the Starks are cursed, or they're obviously not untouchable the way you think they are.
They're not coming out as winners.
Obviously, you build a relationship. Like, you build a relationship with these Stark characters, and then they don't have any problem killing them off. So I know there is one where I can say she, because there's only girls left. That she is
technically there are girls left.
Yeah, and she's a staple of the entire series. So I know there is one who is untouchable. But
have you read the book, Steve?
No, but I have a friend who read the book, and she's a walking spoiler alert. She won't stop telling me about it. And so I know that she's essentially untouchable, unless they change from the show, which would be something interesting. But
well, isn't Jon Snow technically in
that's
some
true,
relation
yeah.
a Stark?
Yeah. He's a bastard Stark. Yeah.
So yeah, he's a bastard.
That's
Stark.
true. So yeah, his last name isn't Stark.
Right.
So that's kind of where I was going
both
with that. But
have watched season to season. Is that right?
What is that?
Oh yeah. Well,
mean?
I missed the first 2 seasons when it aired.
Okay.
So I binged the first 2,
okay.
and then I watched 3 and 4 as they aired.
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing live as it happened.
So I'm almost wondering, if maybe that makes a difference in all this, because I literally binge watched all 4 seasons, and I kind of knew about the Red Wedding. And I still, I think that's what makes it number 1 for me, is I knew, so I didn't know, what was going to happen. I knew it was called a Red Wedding and something crazy was going to happen. And then when they went to this wedding, I kind of had a feeling something was going to happen. and it still didn't prepare me for what actually happened. So, and I also actually knew what happened in Ned Stark too, kind of. Somebody spoiled that for me a little bit too. So maybe that also has something to play with it. Just the fact that it's, that was 4 years ago and 2 or 3 years ago. And I just kind of binge watched everything. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious if that maybe might have something to do with it.
It probably does because, like Ben mentioned, this was the first thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of sets the tone for the entire show that these characters that you assume are the main character are not invincible in the show.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
It sets the point that George R.R. Martin does not like the Starks.
And he's also a son of a bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you want to let us know if you agree or disagree with our order, or maybe if we left any out, I'll quick run down some other ones that we had on our list but didn't put in the top 5. Let me look here. Shay, no, we talked about her. Baelish betraying Joffrey. No, that's the Purple Wedding. Sorry, we talked about that. Jon Snow betraying the Wildings when he kind of made him think he was one of them and then turned around and bailed on him. Jaime betraying Cersei, which is the two brother and sister who bang each other, by helping Tyrion escape, which actually led to his father's death, unbeknownst to him. The Witch Lady betraying Daenerys. What is that? Did I pronounce it wrong again?
Daenerys.
By using that little, what did she do? Like a little witch potion thing or whatever to kill the unborn child, and try and bring Khal Drogo back to life, whatever it was. That was season 1 too. And then also Jorah, which is the guy who just got kicked out from Dany's camp because he was found out to be delivering info to Robb Baratheon. So he kind of betrayed her there as well. I think that's all the ones we had listed. So yeah, let us know if we missed any, or if, you would have had a different top 5. Just hit us on Facebook, facebook.com/NextLevelRadio online, or tweet us at NXT Level Radio.
Cool.
And watch
so
5 on Sunday.
Yeah. Debuting, is it this Sunday or
this
next Sunday?
April 12th. It's
Sunday.
2 days after the 10th.
Hey, so that means we're going to have to, you're an asshole. I just picked up on that.
Somebody's a little slow.
Which means we're going to, damn it. See, I was liking the fact that we could record the podcast at 7 and I had it all night to edit it. Because The Walking Dead was over, but now fucking Game of Thrones is coming on.
I don't actually have
so.
HBO. I only have HBO Go, so I have to wait anyway. So
no, you can watch it live on HBO Go.
Really? I thought you have to wait I guess you have to wait like a minute, don't you, or something like that?
I think it's maybe like 30 seconds after it starts. You can log on and watch it. Because that's how I watched it last season.
Okay, that's cool.
So you can watch it live on HBO Go, which is pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
We'll do it live.
So. There you go. But let's get ready to wrap things up. First, though, we have to hit this Adam segment, the weekly update.
And now, the Showcast Weekly Update.
All right, this week's weekly update brought to you by the Stark family, because they could use a pick-me-up after 4 years of death and all that good stuff. So let's kick things off. Excuse me. After 2 years of various delays, the 5th installment of Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, titled Dead Men Tell No Tales, has now been stalled because star Johnny Depp has injured his hand. The world's creator God has been quoted as saying, "If they don't get the hint to stop making these movies, I'll have to resort to killing firstborn sons again." Next up, a pizzeria in Indiana is stirring up controversy because they will not cater to gay weddings due to their religious beliefs. Also, Indiana has become the first state to legally marry gay Ninja Turtles.
What?
Pizzeria? Really? At a wedding?
Oh, got it. Okay,
Sorry,
got it.
Some of our audience are a little slower than others.
Shut up.
Moving right along, according to a recent study, online searching may make you feel smarter than you actually are, but still not as smart as you feel when you watch Teen Jeopardy.
That's true.
That is very true, actually.
Getting back to Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin says he plans to finish the long-awaited 6th book, Worlds of Winter, by 2016, barring any distractions. You can tell Martin really means it this time because... Oh, wait. No. He's now developing a new HBO series called Captain Cosmos that has nothing to do with Game of Thrones. Son of a bitch, that book is never coming out. let's move on to a lighter topic now. Scientists believe they've finally found the reason why humans are the only primates to have chins. The feature appears to have shown up around 2 million years ago when humans first started to cook their food, which means Jay Leno's ancestors must have been master chefs. And finally, wrapping it up, a recent study suggests that ordering your steak more rare could reduce your risk of contracting Alzheimer's disease, because mad cow disease is so much more fun. Although it would have made the Notebook a little more interesting.
I never saw it. So
she had Alzheimer's.
Gotcha.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you not see it either, Steve?
No, I never saw it.
All right, well,
I'm going to see The Lone Ranger, though. It'll be number 3 in the box office.
Oh, there you go. But that is it for this week's Weird of the Week.
Did you say The Lone Ranger?
What was it called?
Last Ride.
Whatever. The cowboy movie. I saw Lone Ranger.
So did I. It threw me for a second.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, little known,
the
Lone Ranger had Alzheimer's as well.
Tonto
definitely had mad cow disease. That mofo was crazy.
Oh, God, we got to wrap this show
up.
All right, so last minute things. Obviously, the most important parts, be sure to check us out online on our website, www.nextlevelradioonline.com, for all of our past shows and interviews, as well as facebook.com/nextlevelradio online. Follow us on Twitter at NXT Level Radio, and find us on iTunes. Just go to your iTunes store and search for Next Level Radio, and you can download the podcast as well as interviews that we've done in the past as well. Be sure to rate us while you're there. At the same time, give us a favorable, a good rating while you're there as well. If you have any comments or questions on anything we've talked about on this episode of the Showcast, feel free to comment on our Facebook page or tweet at us, once again, at NXT Level Radio. And last but not least, be sure to join us for the next episode of the Showcast, episode 14, for our interview with Ori Pfeffer from USA's Dig. So I'm going to have to watch that between now and next Sunday, so I can make sure I know what I'm talking about when we talk about Ori.
It helps.
When we talk to Ori. Yeah. I think that's it, unless anybody else has anything else they want to add.
No, I don't think so.
Steve, you good?
Yeah, I'll be all right.
So, on a more serious note, Adam, since it is going to be your birthday before the next one, seriously, happy birthday. Really? Did you have that waiting in case I said happy birthday one more time? You're such a jackass. On that note, let's get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you guys on the next episode of the Showcast next week. Take care.
Later.
Bye.
Oh, what's in the box?